What's up, everybody? Last week we got Season 5 Reloaded of Black Ops 6 and Warzone. So, as usual, we're going to go through the meta like we do after any major update. Yesterday we did the long range. I'll post that video link down below. I also have a link down below my Twitch if you want to come hang out live. I play COD, Apex, single player Sundays, or just when new games come out. I also have all my social medias linked down below, as well as my single player channel, car social medias, and car YouTube, if any of that interests you. That's all linked down below, and so will be true game data, because as usual, we're going to go through the loadouts, and then we're going to go to true game data and look at like the TTK chart and stuff. So that's that. That's the links down below if you want to check anything out, support me anywhere else, but we're going to go ahead and jump into the loadouts. All right, so starting at number 5, I've been like, I like to put the MW2 and 3 weapons in there. The MX9 can go in here as well, but the Striker has a slightly better TTK and has a 60-round drum, but they have gives and takes that make them about equivalent. I just like putting the Striker in here. So for the Striker, we have the XRK Sandstorm. A lot of the muzzles kind of do the same thing. They're all recoil control, gun kick control, and they're all about the same levels. We have the XRK Sandstorm. There's 2 barrels you can go with. You can go with the Elite Long Barrel or the Striker Recon Long Barrel. The Elite Long Barrel will help some with like gun kick control that the Striker Recon Long Barrel doesn't help, and then it also helps with some recoil control, which you don't get from the Recon Long Barrel, but you get more bullet velocity and range with it instead of getting a little more help aiming. So that's really up to you. I prefer the Recon Long Barrel. Then we have the Jack Slash, helps with movement speed, sprint speed, and vertical recoil. Way too many grips to go through all of them. 60-round drum. If you're playing in smaller squad sizes like singles, solos, and duos, you could do 48. Solos, you could get away with 20, but trios and especially quads, you're going to want 60. You could maybe do 48 in trios. And then high grain rounds to help with bullet velocity, damage range, etc. There is more visual recoil, of course, on the MW2 and 3 weapons, so you could drop the high grain for like an optic. You could drop the high grain for the Seiken ZX grip for that gun kick control and firing aim stability. You could also drop it for the laser and help with the aim, walking steadiness, tack stance spread, sprint fire speed, and aim down sight speed. If I was going to drop the high grain, I would probably go for that laser, honestly. But those are the best options there if you want to change that load up a little bit, but I would leave it as it is, of course, because that's what I'm recommending. Number 4, we have the Jackal. A lot of people are on the Jackal right now. I don't love it. You have to be more precise with this than you do other things on the list. And because we like to cater loadouts here for everybody and not just higher skill players or lower skill players, kind of just an average of everybody, I have the Jackal at 4. Some people are really liking the Jackal. You just got to be a little more accurate with it. So I have the Kepler Microflex for my optic, compensator, reinforced barrel. I would go reinforced, or I would go long barrel for pushing out damage range or for getting some bullet velocity and damage range. Bullet velocity is less important, so you could go the gain twist, but it's certainly less important than damage range on an SMG. But I still always like going for the balanced approach, so I go reinforced barrel. Then I have the Ranger foregrip here, helps with horizontal recoil and sprint move speed. There's not a lot of recoil here. If you feel like there's too much recoil, of course, go to the vertical grip, or go to the G grip, especially if you play the playstyle with the hipfire to ADS accuracy, where you're going to ADS at the same time you're starting shooting, or if you're going to start with hipfire and then aim ADS, you can go G grip, but Ranger grip gives you enough horizontal recoil control and gives you the extra sprinting movement speed. Then we go Extended Mag 2. Once again, smaller squad sizes. You can go down to Extended Mag 1 if you would like, but I mostly play quads, so Extended Mag 2 is where I go because that's 50 as opposed to 40. If that 10 bullets doesn't make a difference for you, of course, go Extended Mag 1. Commando grip helps with sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. Depending on how you play and what's more important, you can go assault grip and go sprint to fire speed, or you can go quick draw grip and get more aim down sight speed. There's not a combat grip on, I was combat stock. And then for stock, I go no stock because you get the movement speed, the hip fire movement speed, and the strafing move speed. Some people will go balanced stock because you also get the aim walking movement speed on there. You get less of the movement speed and strafing move speed and hip fire move speed that you do with no stock. And then some people also go to combat stock for even more aim walking move speed, but I overall just go to balanced stock or no stock, and I prefer no stock. And then I have overpressured. Helps with the bullet velocity, less important. If you're wanting more recoil control, go with recoil springs, of course. If you're going 5 attachments on like any of these loadouts, I would drop the fire mods, I would probably drop the fire mods, the rear grip, and the optic, and leave the stock, just because you get that extra movement speed, and iron sights aren't too bad. Then we go to number 3. Number 3 is the compact, pretty much where it always is. The compact has the most recoil on this list by far, but it's the exact same loadout, except it's extended mag 3 because that's 60 rounds, extended mag 2 is 50, and extended mag 1 is 40. Now, normally I would say extended mag 1 for solos or duos. I would still probably say extended mag 2 unless you're going to hit all of your shots, because this thing's an ammo burner. It gets its TTK from pissing away ammo. It doesn't necessarily get it from damage per round, so you need as much ammo as possible. Commando grip, no stock, and recoil springs. And I go with recoil springs here because this does have the most recoil. And if you really want to use it because this has the best overall TTK on the list and it's got too much recoil, go to vertical foregrip. There's no penalties associated with any of these grips, so it's kind of player style dependent. I wouldn't recommend the G grip as much, but you do get the recoil stabilization, horizontal recoil control. But if recoil is your problem, I would just go all the way to the vertical foregrip and help with the recoil the most. If you're going to 5 attachments, I would definitely drop the optic, and then I would probably drop the rear grip and maybe the stock here. You can go fire mods depending on your recoil control, but if you're worried about the recoil, keep the recoil springs, drop the stock. If you're not, drop the recoil springs and keep the stock. Moving on to number 2, nothing has changed since the last time I did this. It's the C9. It's the same loadout I've just talked through on all of them. Extended mag 2, once again, for trios and quads. Go extended mag 1 if you're in solos and duos. But it's the exact same loadout. You can make the same changes. And for 5 attachments, I would drop rear grip, stock, and optic. I would drop fire mods, rear grip, and optic. And then number 1, the Ladra. I still think it's the number 1 on this list. It has the best overall feel to it, as well as still having a really good TTK. Only the compact beats it, and I think it feels better shooting-wise. And just like the compact, we have the recoil springs on here instead of overpressured. If you're not struggling with the recoil, obviously go with overpressured. And if you're struggling with the recoil beyond this build, go with the vertical foregrip, of course. And then for changes, I would drop the fire mods, the rear grip, and the optic. Or I would drop, if you're struggling with recoil still, I would drop stock, rear grip, optic. So that's the top 5. We got Striker in here. You could put the MX9 in here as well. Both of those have an argument for number 5, but you can't use them in ranked, which is also why they're number 5. 4 is the Jackal. You got to be a little more accurate with the Jackal, so it's not necessarily lower skill player friendly. Then you have 3, the Compact, the best TTK on this list, but an ammo burner and has the most recoil on this list. Number 2, you have the C9, about middle of the pack TTK, but really, really, really easy to shoot. And then number 1, of course, I have the Ladra, best balance of TTK and ease of use. But that is my loadouts. That's how I would rank them. That's how I would build them. If you were just here for loadouts, thank you so much for watching. But for the rest of us, we're going to go to True Game Data. Okay, so we're over on True Game Data now. You can see I have all 5 guns there built exactly how I had them built. So we go down to the TTK chart. If you look at just chest, only the Compact is beating the Jackal. If you go neck, it stays the same. Headshot, the Compact moves back up. So when you have a combination of like chest, neck, head, we have the combination here. I don't know how to reset it to default values. So I wonder what happens if I go leg, arm. Then we look at the TTK here. Put this at 30 meters. And take out stomach. Go 33, 33, and 33. TTK charts on. Oh well. Now I gotta refresh this page. I should just left the default values like I always do. I'm not good with using that chart and changing the values. All right, so back to what we were doing here. So on a combination, the Jackal has the worst TTK, but when you look at chest, it's beating out everything else. That's why it's like you got to be a little more accurate. You can't really hit outside of the chest and neck area, chest, neck, head. If you're hitting stomach shots, you're going to fall behind, but so does the Striker. If you're hitting arms, the Jackal's still decent until you get to upper leg and lower leg. So you really have to be hitting like waist up for it to be good. And if you hit in the legs, it's going to fall behind. So that's why I have it at 4. You can see the Ladra here is right around the Striker, which is really impressive with the Striker, but it's better on a combination than everything except the Compact, and both the Striker and the Ladra are very close to the Compact. And like I said, the Compact's got a little more recoil, a little harder to shoot, and if you notice, it also falls off earlier. It falls off by far first, which is another reason why I have it in 3. But also, once you're trying to get to 12 meters, not as big of a deal. The Striker is actually really impressive. It's just you can't use it in ranked. It's got more visual recoil. You can only do 5 attachments. Otherwise, it might be higher on this list, but just the downsides are the downsides. But it does drop off I guess technically third farthest. The Jackal is about the same, which is another reason why the Jackal is good, especially if you snipe. The C9 does drop off the farthest. And then the Compact, after other things start to drop off, is really, really good again. It's actually a good sniper support, although it's a little hard to shoot at range. But when you look at a combination of shots and just use the average values that True Game Data has, it's clear that the Ladra is at least very, very competitive with the Compact, and I think easier to shoot with the Compact, and has a little more rounds. So then we go down to this chart like we usually do. The ADS move speeds are all about the same for the Black Ops 6 weapons, and then they're much better than the Striker. The ADS time for the Compact is the best, but it's not way quicker than the Jackal or the Ladra. The Bullet Velocity on the Ladra is not great, so that hurts it a little in the sniper support category, but we're looking more at SMGs here, which is why the C9 is a decent option for sniper support, and so is the Jackal, because the Jackal's isn't amazing, but it's good enough. Crouch speed, Ladra is tied for the best with the Jackal. The fire rate is a little bit slower on the Ladra, so it's a little less of an ammo burner, and you get 6 more rounds, which is another reason why I like it more than the Compact. The move speed is also just about the best. The Jackal's is slightly better, but the Ladra is right there. Better than the Compact, a good amount better than the Compact. Sprint speeds for the Black Ops 6 weapons are just about the same. The Striker, once again, is slow in all of the movement speed categories, which is another reason why it's 5th. The Jackal is the best sprint speed, so it's the best if you're hitting your shots in the upper chest, neck, and head area, and it's got overall the best movement, but it's pretty close. Sprint to fire speed, the Ladra's a little bit slow compared to the Compact, and is slower than the Jackal as well, but not way slower. We're talking a few milliseconds here. But those are really the important things. So the attack sprint speed's just never there. So the Ladra, I think, is the best balance of TTK plus usability plus movement speed. The Jackal's got a little better movement speed, but if you're not hitting your precise shots, the TTK really falls off. The Compact has a little more recoil. So I do think the Ladra comes out number 1 overall. The C9's the easiest to use on this list. The Ladra's the best overall on this list, and the Compact kills the fastest on this list. The Jackal's the highest skill on this list. And the Striker's just an interesting 5th option. But those are my thoughts. Those are my rankings. That's why I think what I think according to True Game Data. But that's my close range meta. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, especially if you like COD content, Apex content, game reviews. And check out the links in the description down below. Go check out True Game Data. Do your own comparisons. Support True Game Data. Check out my Twitch, my social medias, my car social medias, my single player YouTube channel, and my car YouTube channel. But check all that if you want down in the description down below, and I will see you on Verdansk. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.